Right, come on Facebook and YouTube, get with the program. Refresh the page. Oh, here we go. Right, good evening everybody. Oh, we are working. Oh, Facebook is working. YouTube is working. Long may it last. So good evening everybody. I can't believe it's Monday already. Where has the time gone? Right, there's too many of you coming in now, so let me just clean my glasses whilst we catch up. Let everybody get logged in. So let me just go to the top. Let's have a look. So I won't go on forever. So hi, Anne, Shaz, Darina, Anne, another Anne, Deirdre, Emma, Christine, another Christine, Lynn, Anna, Helen, Pam, Jackie, Wendy, Bridget. You're coming in too quick now. So good evening, everybody. And hello to everybody on the tube. So hopefully YouTube will be fine this week. So just while we wait for everybody else to get logged in, I will just, obviously, for those of you that were here last Monday, you will know that YouTube failed. Let us down big time. So as soon as we'd finished on the live, I went onto the YouTube help chatty thing, and wasted 3/4 of an hour of my life straight after the live. And it didn't really help me at all. They were most unhelpful. Just gave me a link that told me about bandwidth and stuff like that, and they wouldn't have it that YouTube didn't work and Facebook did, and so it was just an absolute waste of time. So hopefully whatever the issue was last week, it has been resolved and we will be good to go tonight. I can't tell you what happened. It was obviously an internal thing with YouTube, nothing to do with us. So anyway, how are you all? I think you're going to like the demo tonight. It's a little bit more masculine, which is unusual, but there you go. I had this brainwave. Now I have them now and again, not very often, but every now and again I have a brainwave. So you know how I'm doing the Technique Tuesday video, new one going on tomorrow afternoon, by the way. And I want to try and use the techniques that I'm doing on the videos in an actual project. So it's fab that I'm hoping you're liking the little half-an-hour videos that are just literally a technique. But I thought it would be a good idea to then follow that on where I can. It won't always work this way, but follow it on where I can, where I can incorporate that technique into the card that we make on the Monday evening. So as I say, it won't work all the time because when I have new releases, etc. But on the weeks in between, it might be a good thing for us to do. So you can learn how to do the technique on the Tuesday, i.e. tomorrow. And then the week after, I'll show you how to use that in an actual card. I know, Shaz, I know. How'd you get rid of subtitles? Caroli, if you hover over the bottom of the screen, there's a little thing that pops up where you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons, and it's got one of them says CC. If you click on CC, it then gives you the option to turn the subtitles on or off. I can imagine what it's saying, trying to interpret my accent. So that should be fun. Oh, Wendy, bless you. Oh my word, take it easy. Yeah, it's a 30-minute technique now, Saz. I've taken off the time limit, so it's covered. I'm covered. I've just called it Technique Tuesday. Will there be any more of the Charming second edition? Irene's asking me. Okay, so we've sold out. We've only got like odd 1s or 2s. The simple answer at this stage, Irene, is I'm not sure. Let me get this week out of the way. Because I've got a busy week, obviously. I'm on TV on Wednesday and I've still got 1,001 things to do before then. So for those of you that have not managed to get the Charm 2 dies, let me regroup on Friday with Karen and we will see what the demand is And if there is enough of a demand, I will probably reorder the minimum that I can order. Now, unfortunately, the minimum is quite high, so I need to make sure there are enough of you that want them before I reorder. The same way that we did lead differently last time. Anyway, so you love the techniques. Yeah, good. I think you'll like tomorrow's as well. Trying to just do quicker demos that just give you, I bet they are, Karen, that just give you a technique, shows you how to do a technique. So there you go. Remember the new February channel? Crikey, I better add that to my list as well. Thanks, Audrey. I don't know when I'll get time to do it, but I will. Hopefully at some point tomorrow. Yeah, only 1,001 Wendy. Well, no, 1,002 now, because Audrey's just given me another job. Hi, Mel. Right, so we're going to get cracking. There's a fair bit to do tonight. And I think you're going to like this. And I've called it a mashup, which is basically what I do every week. We're using a different combination of dyes from different collections of mine. And mixing it up with different combinations of stamps. I always try and do this anyway. Before you say you don't know what time your shows are on Wednesday. Yeah, I know, Chrissy. Funnily enough, I had a look. Hi, David. Hi, Lane. I had a look, Chrissy, and thought, oh, crikey, that's going to be a long day for me. But there you go. Right, so I'll change my glasses and we'll get cracking. We'll get cracking. Now, for those of you that haven't seen the video from last Tuesday's technique, what have I called it? Technique Tuesday or something, I can't remember. Technique Tuesday. Yes, it's on YouTube, Sharon. And I've created a new little category for it on YouTube. So if you go to the homepage of my YouTube channel, you should be able to see there are 2 videos in there at the moment, because I've done two weeks of techniques. So you'll be able to see that from the homepage. Oh, that's brilliant, Heather. Well, this might help you. Good evening to everybody who's just joining. Let me just go back. It would be good to do a reorder, as I couldn't afford the whole set. I know, Jane. I think the timing was a bit bad for some people as well. And unfortunately, because I'm every other week on Hobby Maker, it always seems to fall the week before the end of the month. Helen mentioned it earlier. And there's not a lot I can do about that, unfortunately. But we shall see. We shall see. I think there probably is enough. Doreen can comment. That's a good thing. So we are still... I'm just making sure. Yeah, we are. I had a panic then. Right, so... here we go. Let's put all this to one side and show you before I start. So remember, I've told you I am using the technique from last Tuesday's Technique Tuesday, which was showing you how to do... I don't like using that word grungy, but I guess that's kind of what this style gives you. It gives you grungy vibes, but I'm calling it rusty. I like the word rusty. So I've got here combinations from 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 of my die sets. And I'm going to apologise to you now, because the cogs, I don't think we have any of the cog dies left. I am doing some new ones, so you might just have to wait for the new ones. Unfortunately, the demos from the DTs and Julia on YouTube using the new dies are fabulous. They are. What are you saying, Chrissy? Mine are rubbish. Oh, thank you, Julie. Well, I'm glad you like the Technique Tuesdays. It's worth my time doing it then, because although it's just a half an hour video, obviously I have to prep and everything, so it does take a little bit longer. And then I talk for 20 minutes before I do anything. No, I'm exaggerating. Hi, Jenny. Will you be back on Thursday? Will I be back on Thursday? Oh, you mean in the Facebook group, Jane? Am I back on Thursday? I'm trying to think. I think so, Jane. Yeah, I think it's my Thursday. So let's just quickly run through the die sets that I've used. Now, you all know me well enough to know that whenever I design something, even as I always design collections, you know I do. And that's where I see, for us as crafters, that's where I see the most versatility. There's no point me doing, for example, one set of lead differently, because what are you going to do with it? You're going to use it and then get bored with it. So I always do collections, and this is where I think we get the most benefit from the things that I produce. It was always a bit of a bad at the end of... Oh, yeah, I know. Funnily enough, Jackie, I don't know whether you remember this conversation we had last year. This time last year, you said about your car and all my things are at the same time as yours. You should remind me to start searching for better insurance. So let's have a quick look at what I'm using before I start. So I've used a couple of the lead differently dies. Now, if you haven't got the lead if you haven't managed to get the first set of the lead differently dies, there are about 3 of each left. And that is it. That is from the reorder. I won't reorder again. So I've used this one here, which is the same set that I've used on my Technique Tuesdays. And this is the same set that I will use every week on my Technique Tuesday videos. Because then we're going to create this lovely library of toppers and tags and what have you that you can look back on. So this one here is from the Elegance Rectangles. So this is from Elegance Rectangles. We are going to mix this up. As I say, it's a mashup. So I am also using this one from the Regency Squares. So I'm using this pointy thing from Regency Squares also. And I have also used one of the circles from the Graceful Squares. So this is, remember when I first released these, I told you about how you can mix and match and what have you. And this is a really good example of how to do that tonight. So they are the first series in the Lead Differently. Lead Differently 2 is already en route. Forewarned is forearmed. The little stars, so the little stars you see here are from the Happy Birthday framed sentiments die set. So these little stars are what I've used here to create my little star buttons. And I also have the brick wall from the textures dies. So the brick wall from the textures dies. You can also see that I've used the 2 larger dies from the same Lead Differently set. That card's filthy. Why is it so dirty? Why is that card filthy? That must be my plates. I should know better. I should know to put a sheet of white copier paper over my die cutting. That will be alright, I think, because we are going to stamp on that anyway. And then obviously I've created the extra base layers. So it's quite a big card. What a surprise. Oh, do you know I hate it when I've got a white card and it's got a mark on it. You're on both just in case. YouTube's suddenly gone to adverts. You have to click skip. If YouTube's gone to adverts, you've got to click skip, and then it puts you back onto the video. I'm not sure why it started doing that, because I haven't clicked anything to authorize it. Might be more dirty once you start splatting ink on it, that's true. But it'll be pretty dirty. Pretty dirty. So this is one of the toppers that I did on my Technique Tuesday video. And this is what I'm going to use tonight. I am going to replicate this on a couple of the embellishments. And we are also going to enhance it. So this is just, or was just white cardstock. And we're going to do the same technique on the brick wall and also on the cogs. I'm leaving the stars as they are. So I'm going to do that first, and then on my layers I'm also going to do, let me just check which one I'm doing, this one. So they are all staying white. We are doing the edge of this one, and we are also doing the cogs. So we're going to do this, and we're going to change it slightly from the video. You need the heart one. Oh, bless you, Rose. Did it for 6 months. Now do it. Yeah, I do it for a year. So we're going to do the rusty technique first. But we are going to enhance it. So we are doing this slightly different to how it was on the video. So this is one of the layers for my card. So I only need to do the edges of this. But we are going to do the gears at the same time. So I'm using the same colours that I did on the technique video, which is Rusty Hinge, Ground Espresso and Peacock Feathers. Okay, and I'm going in with Rusty Hinge first with the brayer. We're going to do all the inky jobs first, and then we're going to enhance them, which I didn't show you on the video. So yeah, so we're taking a technique and we're changing it. We're changing it up, and then we're going to do the stamping to coordinate. So the same way I showed you on the video, we're going to lay down some colour first. I'm not going to go into details about what I'm doing because it's all on the video. It's all on the video on YouTube. So I know I only need to go about this far. Oops. So I'm going to follow in the same direction. I'm trying not to put... Oh, I'm sorry, it's squeaking. Story of my life. It needs some WD-40. I'll try and be quicker so we're not all demented with the noise. And because we're doing this technique on a few things, we will do it all at the same time. That's made me laugh. Hi, Sandy. That's made me laugh. I'm not sure yet, Lee. It does need oiling. It has got rusty hinges. So we're going to do the gears, the cogs and the gears at the same time. And it's exactly the same technique. Now, this is something that I didn't show you on the video. But obviously, once you know how to do it, you can then apply it to die cuts and embossed pieces of card and what have you. I really should use my new brayer. So I'm just rolling over. I'm going to change this in a minute, I think. I'm just going to be a little bit heavier with the rusty hinge on these. So pop those to one side. And then bring in the brick wall. So we are doing the same with the brick wall. Now what I am going to do is I saved some of the bits. I saved some of the bits from the waste from the brick wall. Now you could obviously do this on a piece of cardstock before you die cut it, but I don't like to do that because it usually leaves a residue on your dies. I'll just do 6. And I've done that before where I've die cut something that I've inked, and it's, even though I've cleaned the die afterwards, it has left a residue which bugs me. So I would always do it afterwards. You can do it how you please, but I would always do it afterwards. So same thing again. So it doesn't matter too much with this about lifting up and being lighter at the edges, because these are embellishments. If you're doing layers on your card, then you do need to press harder at the edges and lift the brayer halfway up. There's always one. And again with the rusty hinge. That will do. So that is it with the rusty hinge. We're then going to go in with the peacock feathers. I can't see what you're saying to me just yet. I'm swearing internally at these little bits. I'm just trying to do it all in one go because it's easier. I've lost patience with that. My patience has been stretched. So I'm going to clean the brayer, and don't clean the brayer with any water. Just run off the excess ink. You've lost the comments. And then we're going to go in with the peacock feathers. And the same thing again. So I'm just doing this so that the colour matches the rest of the card. Oh, that looks lovely already. And just do these bits. This is proper crafting. This is making something from white cardstock. That'll do with them before I lose more patience. And then what happens is, if you can see the cog dies, the same as with the big dies, where we've got the debossed areas, we're getting a little bit of a resist, which is perfect. It's marvellous. I think I might need to take this off and oil it, or use one of my new ones. They look good just with two colours, I've got to say. So that's the gears. And then we'll bring in this piece of card from the layers. Yeah, I've done it. My patience does run out very quickly. It really does. So at the moment, all we've used is rusty hinge and peacock. Rusty hinge and peacock feathers. Let me just do the same on here. Do watch the full video for this, because it's definitely worth a watch. I'm just doing this super quick. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Does it squeak like this on the Tuesday video? I don't think it did. So this is one of those things where you hear us say all the time, trust the process, yeah? So you can see I'm trying to be a little bit lighter than I was on the original video. I'm just going to come in from this side as well. And I'll come in from the other side as well. Yeah, spot on. Marvellous. Well, I can't argue with that, Jean. Use Kitsch Flamingo instead of rusty hinge. You can. Well, this is. It didn't squeak. I wonder why. I wonder why it started there. This is actually the same kitchen roll I used for the Tuesday video. Yeah, the good thing about this is you can choose whatever colours you want. And then we're just going to go over with the ground espresso. And then we're going to add some paints to it, which is going to change it a little bit, because it's going to give us a bit of a metallic sheen. So I'm just going to soften I'm just going to shade the ends or the edges. Let me just check how far this needs to come in. Let me just check how far it needs to come in. Just bring my biggest layer. Yeah, that's fab. So from all directions with the ground espresso. And you can see how it changes. And at this stage, you can go a little bit softer or a little bit darker. It's entirely up to you. I'm just making it a little bit darker on the edges. I think the lives have got it in for me with all this squeaking. So we'll stop there with that. Remember, it's only the edge we're going to see on this, which is why I've not gone all the way in. Bring back the gears and everything else. And then when we come to do the stamping, we're going to make the stamps coordinate, which I think is really rather marvellous. So let me just bring some of these in. I'm only going to do a couple because it's bugging me. I think I saw somebody say I could have stuck them down with some tape, but I can't be bothered with that. So same again. Super quaint. Happy birthday, Anita. I've just caught that. So I'm doing the same again with the cogs. My squeaky brayer. I'm just going to do this one a little bit harder on the edge. Isn't that fabulous how the deboss section gets saved? So I'm just making it a little bit darker on the edges. And I think we'll stop at that. So we've got two more things to do. I won't do it to these because they're getting on my nerves, but I will do it to the rest of them. Now this is something I haven't shown you before, I don't think. So we're now going to add some metallic highlights to this, and there are two colours that I've chosen, and I just want to give you a really quick tip. So this is something that you've probably not got to the stage of yet. So this I'm going to use tonight on these gears and the background, and indeed on a little bit on the wall. I'm using Copper and Secret Lagoon from the metallic paints. Okay, now you can see this is a newish tub of copper. Now when you get to the end of your paint pot, so copper I must have used a lot, so this one hardly had anything in the bottom. Can you see how I filled it with water? So I filled this with water, and the pigment is just so strong, it will still give us that lovely metallic sheen. So I'm going to go on first with the Secret Lagoon. And I'm not going to clean oh actually I will. I'll just clean off the ground espresso. Chris's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday for tomorrow. Yes, it's peacock feathers. You can do it with tumbled glass or broken china, but peacock feathers does have a slight greeny tint. So So my brushes are still sitting in the... Let me just get a clean brush because the others are still sitting in the water. It's brush abuse. Brush abuse. So we're going to take the Secret Lagoon first, which is a more turquoise colour than the peacock feathers. And we're going to just put a little bit on the mat at the side. You probably can't see how much I've used. I'll just show you that. And then we're going to water that down. Now the metallic sheen is entirely up to you. We will finish it with ground espresso to soften it anyway. But it does add a little bit of, I don't want to say bling, but a little bit of extra something, yeah, when you put a metallic highlight. Make sure my mat's straight. So if you went on with this paint direct, it would be far too strong. You do need to dilute it. So we're going to dilute it with some water. Now this is personal preference. You can do as much or as little as you like. So I've actually done quite a bit of water and far too much paint. So let me just move this to the side. And we're going to brayer this on. But you need to remove the excess moisture before you do it. So I'm rolling, you can't see this at the minute. I'm rolling my brayer through the paint. And I'm just going to take off some of the excess moisture and then just roll it over. And of course, one of them decides to flick upside down. Of course it does. Take off some of the excess moisture. Not all of it, but some of it. Let's move them to one side because they're done enough. Squeak, squeak, squeak. That's better. Just bear in mind to stick to the same kind of colour palette. Squeak, squeak, squeak. And then just this one. And I'm just going to bring that in and show you. So you can probably just about make out the metallic sheen. Let me just change screens. I'm on the wrong screen. There we go. There is a bit of a delay I've noticed tonight. So you can probably just make out the metallic sheen that's starting. Yeah. I'll be surprised if we've got any of the cog dyes, Wendy. You'd have to just search on the website. I honestly don't think we have, but I am doing some new ones. And then I'm just going to repeat that process with the background. Just a little bit on the edge. Because we're only going to see a bit of it. So this time I won't take off the excess. I'm just create a little bit more paint. Remember, the metallic paints are super, super, super pigmented, so you don't need a lot. But brayering it on, because obviously it's rubber, so it's resisting a little bit. So brayering it on is a really good way to do it. And it will override the distress oxides. That's better. So I'm just doing a little bit because I've got copper to do. Can you see that? It's giving us a lovely metallic... Your brayer falls apart. At least mine's not falling apart, but it is squeaking. And then we're just going to repeat this with the copper. Now, I already know, because I've created my copper paint already. So when your paint pots get empty, don't throw them away is what I'm saying. Make yourself a little water palette. So I know, look, with this I can just tip some onto the my spare mat. Oops, that's far too much, Mr. Martin. But let's go. I'm going to swap to the cogs because these have had a chance to dry a bit. So we're doing rusty, but we're adding a metallic sheen, and I've not finished with the cogs either. So copper, which is stronger, I'm going to dilute that a little bit more. In fact, I'm going to show you this. Let me just show you this. This is from that diluted, watered down one that was nearly empty, and it's far too strong. So I'm just trying to make it a bit weaker. So let's just roll that over. Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good. Make sure I've got them all, and then I'll bring it in and show you. Yeah, got them all. Let me just show you these. So this is with the turquoise, the Secret Lagoon underneath, and then the copper on top. I can't help you with the comments because I'm live, so I can't really do much. So pop that on there. And although that looks pretty, it will go in the bin. So I'm just going to do the same again with the background. Just take off some of the excess. Just making sure it's hitting with the paint. I think this brayer will be retiring soon. I think it's seen better days. Right, so I've just softened that down a bit. And I'll show you that. So this is with the watered down version, remember? Look at that. And I've just got to do a little bit on here just so that it kind of matches. This is going to be chopped down, obviously. But let's just add a little bit of the copper rather than waste the paint. Yeah, that's good. Good, good, good. Good to go. So now I can clean my brayer. Well, to see how much paint is on this, it's almost a shame. It's almost a shame. I've got to clean the brayer because I'm now just going to run over it with the ground espresso again at the edges. But I have used nearly all of that copper paint. So just remember, top tip, don't waste what you think are empty paint pots. Because even if it's just dregs of metallic paint, it will be packed with mica. I don't know why, Maureen, I can't help you. I'm not sure why it does that. Facebook is a law unto itself. So we are now just going to soften that edge with a bit more ink. I don't think I'll do it on the gears. I think I quite like them like that, but I am going to... Actually, I don't really need to. No, I think I'll leave it. I think that will be fine as it is. So let's just pop these to one side to dry. Just if you have a go at this technique, just remember at this stage you can go back in with the inks to tone down the metallic sheen, but I'm quite liking that. You do need to do, just so you know, you definitely need to do a turquoise colour before you do the copper, otherwise you won't get the depth of colour. I hope that makes sense. Right, so move that over to one side and let's bring in the stamps. I think we've had enough brayer squeaking for tonight. So the stamps tonight are, again, a little bit of a mash. Oh, sugar, I should have put some copper on that, but it's too late now. Too late. We are using the latest, and Karen has very generously, because these are relatively new, so I would have probably said no, but Karen has very generously given you 20% off these for tonight. Are you using a soft rubber brayer? No, it's not a soft rubber brayer. It's hard. The soft rubber brayers don't do this as well. It needs to be the hard one. I've got loads of comments on YouTube, so it's definitely working. You can use the watered down dregs for splatting as well, yeah, absolutely. It needs to be a hard red rubber for this technique. The soft ones don't work as well. Anyway, so 20% off the coins and medallions for tonight. Now, I am obviously going to use the vintage paraphernalia one because it goes so well with the style of card that I'm doing tonight. You'll notice I've left the little stars clear, just plain white, just to break up the colour. So I am going to stamp the medallion and then I'm going to chop it up. Yes, I am. So let's get the medallion out. And then I'm going to chop it up. I can't find my big scissors for some reason, so I think I've left them somewhere. So I might need to treat myself. When I say treat myself, you know what I mean. So I'm using the vintage paraphernalia medallion. And if you haven't seen this before, these are the circular stamps that are designed to fit in my circle dies. However, I am going to fussy cut this tonight. I've got a little bit of metallic paint on my stamp. It was on my finger. That shows you how much mica there is in there. So we are going to use the same three colours. This is a really, really, really fabulous technique. You've seen me do two-tone before. Tonight we're doing three. So I'm going on heavily with the rusty hinge. This is my base coat. And I am doing this all in one go. So if you're not confident to do this, you can stamp the first colour, then ink it with the next colour, and then ink it with the next colour. But I'm doing it all in one go. And you know, Tim already knows that I abuse my ink pads. So rusty hinge. We're then going to add some random peacock feathers. So what's happened is, look, you can see what's happened just looking at the stamp. Where it overlaps, we've got that gorgeous greeny hue. And then we've got some areas that are rusty hinge, some areas that are a little bit greeny. And then I'm going to add just some small areas with the doodah, the ground espresso. Now, we're going to spray this with water. Yeah, the metallic paints are fabulous. They are. There's no if, buts or maybes. They're absolutely fab. Facebook keeps freezing for you. That's weird, Gene. It's fine for me. But there you go. That's, you know what technology is like with us. So we're going to give this a couple of mists with water. So that was 4 from a distance. And then we'll stamp this. So we will end up with a watery effect. Oh, that's just fabulous. I'm going to see if I want... Let me just show you how that looks on the first stamp. And in actual fact, I'm quite happy with that. I might just put a little bit more... Just a little bit more of the ground espresso on this side. Oh my word, that is gorgeous. How fabulous is that? Now remember, it is nice when you do the water with the, as long as you don't do too much, and you'll get a lovely softer version of the stamp. And it works particularly well with really detailed stamps like these are. Just don't do too much water. Don't use too much water. If you use too much water, it will bleed. So I think I did 3 or 4 sprays. But remember to do the spraying from a distance. Don't do it too close. So let's pop that to one side. We'll allow that to dry for a second. And then we will do the sentiment at the same time. Or we will if I find my scrap of white card. There it is. So I am using the sentiment coin, but I am going to just use the centre of it, which I really like to do. It just shows you how versatile these little stamps are. So bringing back in the coins when I find them. Let's choose a fabulous sentiment. So, happy birthday, that's boring, isn't it? Dance every day, chase your dreams, cherish moments I use all the time, make it happen. Stronger than you know. Oh, I like that. You're awesome. I love that. I think we're going to have you're awesome. Yeah, I think we'll have you're awesome. So let's stamp you're awesome. So we are doing 2 sentiments, but obviously I need to do the other one afterwards. So you're awesome, because I like that. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. Look, I've just chucked this on the side. That's not very good, Mr. Martin. You're awesome. Same thing again. So this technique works with any of my stamps. When you're doing sentiments, just bear in mind how delicate they are. So this is quite a delicate font. I'm just going to add a little bit more peacock feathers to the word there. Yeah, that should do. And then I've just done 3 for the sentiment. Oh, I'm having a lovely time. Oh, that looks so good. Look how good that looks. Oops. I'm just going to add a little bit more A little bit more doodah and a little bit more ground espresso. I won't ink it, I won't wet it again. Oh, that's just perfect. How fabulous is that? Big shot cutting plates. Yeah, slip screen is where I would tell you to get them. Although I don't really use my Gemini much anymore. So we've got the sentiment there. I'm just going to put something on the inside of it as well. Or shall I just have a star? You're awesome. Yeah, let's just have a star. So chuck them down there. Chuck that on there so I don't lose it. And then we're going to come back to the thingy-me-bob, to the medallion. Now I don't know where my big scissors are. Let me just see if I can get the others from my trolley. Bear with me a second. Yeah, I've got these here. So remember when I showed you the medallions and the coins for the first time? I showed you that I've designed them specifically so that you can choose which section you want to use. The orange is rusty hinge. So the three colours I've used are peacock feathers, ground espresso and rusty hinge. Yeah, so remember when I showed you these originally, these have been designed so that you can snip into them. They've got loads and loads of snippability, or indeed you can use your dies. Now I am going to cut this by hand because I don't want that outer line and I don't want that first stitch line. Yeah, I also don't want the centre, so I'm chopping the centre out as well. So I'm just doing this by hand, and I don't care if it's perfect because it really won't matter on this card. So I'm changing this, I'm changing the look of this stamp completely because all I want is this ring. We're going to have a lovely vintage ring. No comments, Chrissy. Has Jean had to go because of the Facebook? Because I know Jean would appreciate that comment. A vintage ring. So I'm just doing this by hand. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to snip out the inside of this as well. Let me get rid of this. I'm going to snip out the inside of this as well. All I want is the outer one with the postmarks on. And I've got my other scissors for this. You can do this with the dies as well, but you do end up with a little bit of a white bit, which for me is a bit, I can't cope with it. My brain won't let me do that. So I'm just doing this with my little scissors. I've done that instinctively. I don't know whether you all know this. Yeah, Ring of Fire. So if you just chop an X in the middle, you just do it in quarters, look. It's easier to do it in quarters. This is a really good way to get your stamps working hard for you. mean, I love these stamps anyway, you know I do. You can't go wrong with a circular embellishment on your cards. And the very fact that we can chop and change this, look. So we've gone from this to this, which I think is really rather marvellous. And I'm just going to chop out the sentiment. I am keeping the outer line on this. I could have done this with a die, but I want the smooth edges. And do you know, much to my shame, or not, as the case might be, all of my large dies have a decorative element to them. We haven't got plain circles and plain squares. Mind you, I don't want plain. Plain is boring. Right. So we've now created our lengths. I apologise because I need to just put some. Let me see how much is on it first. No, we'll get away with it. We'll get away with it. I was going to put some copper on there, but we will get away with it. Never thought of the X in the middle. Right, so we've got a couple of jobs to do. We are going to add a little bit more texture to the background, which is now dry, and to the topper. Now I should have put copper on this, but I'm not going to get the paint out again. And I'm going to do this with the... Everybody needs this in the stash, by the way. If you haven't got doodle dainty dots, everybody needs this. These little doodle dots are tiny. Teeny, teeny, tiny. And I'm going to do this just by hand. So this is by hand on the background layer. I'm going to do it in ground espresso. Just randomly. And yes, you can stamp over my paint. And it will dry slightly subdued. So the ink, unless you're using VersaFine Clear, the Distress Oxides will dry slightly subdued, which is perfect for what we're trying to do today. Can you see that? You can just see the tiny detailing. And I'm going to do the same on here. Now on here, we're only going to see the top section because the middle is going to be covered up. So we're only going to see that little top and bottom section. And then the last thing is the topper, so the smallest one. We're going to do the same thing again, but this time in the 3 colours. So forgive me, Tim, because I am going to dirty my ink pads up. Now this time you will see more. And I will just say to you as well that this is how much we're going to see, look. I will just say to you as well that when you're looking for background stamps that are good for just being a soft texture in the background, the Dainty Doodle Dots is perfect for it. So I am going to... I'm just reading back, I've missed something. Rust hinge, yeah. Waited nearly a year for your orange machine and I love it. Yeah, the tonic machines are good apparently. I've missed something. Right, so I'm doing all 3 colours again. And I am just doing this by hand and just randomly. So Well, we'll get all 3 colours in the background. And I know that I need to come further in. It doesn't matter about overlap or anything like that. Oh, love this. Remember, it's meant to be just a bit of texture. And if you feel like it's not enough, you can go back in. And then the last one. And then we'll just check. We'll just check that we've gone in far enough. Yeah, that's fabulous. Gone in plenty far enough. And you see where I've overlapped, look, and it smudges a little bit. It looks fab. Now, if you don't like that, mist it with water. And it will bleed a little bit. Don't you worry. Oxides are designed to work. They will be fine. Don't you worry. Get your dainty doodle dots. The other one you need to have, everybody needs to have, is the linen one. But my personal favourite is the Moroccan one, as you well know. Right, now let's start assembling this card a little. So we are going onto a plain layer. So this is really where it starts to come together, because you look at all this and you think how dark it is and everything, but in actual fact, when you balance it out with the white cardstock, it actually looks really rather fabulous. Let me just get a drink. Let me just flick back to YouTube, Facebook. Oops. I wonder where my big scissors have got to. Have you ever done that? Put something down and then you can't find it. How do you stop your ink pad getting contaminated? You can't really, unless you clean it in between. But if you're doing 3 colours at once, don't stress about your distress oxides, everybody. It really won't harm them. That won't harm them. It just won't. It won't. Trust me. You know me well enough to know that if I thought that damaged my ink pads, I wouldn't be doing it. I'm just getting some foam tape. A new roll, because I seem to have used the last one up. What is the shade of blue oxide? It is Peacock Feathers. Make sure you go back and watch. If you're watching for the first time, make sure you've subscribed to the YouTube channel. Check out the Technique Tuesday video from last week and the one before. This is the technique I did, but we've elaborated on it tonight. We've enhanced it with the metallic paints. And I'm trying not to do that on the videos because you can just go on forever. So I'm trying to keep the Technique Tuesday videos concise in my way. Concise to me is about half an hour. So let's just get this laid up. So you know this card's going to be about 4 inch deep, but it is actually really simple. It's a very simple card to do. You're always misplacing stuff. Disappearing object syndrome, yeah. Well, they're as big as the others that you've just seen me use. I don't know where I've put them. I'm hoping I've not left them somewhere. Somewhere meaning hobby maker. because Leonie's been in since me, so they'll have gone. So this is not the base of the card, so I know I can put a little bit of glue on it. We are getting there, so if you're getting bored, oops, if you're getting bored, bear with, we are getting there. Why does it always do this to me on a Monday night? There we go. So the glue is just in case I need to lift the card up or move it a bit more. So I'm just going to look to see if I've got a better edge. And I actually like this one better. So this is going on to here. And now look, as soon as you put some white card behind it, it just looks awesome. And you saw how easy that was to do. This one is also going on foam tape, so forgive me. If you're new to me, you'll know it's all about the layers. You don't make cards so that you can keep them too flat, unless you've got a lot to post. And I don't post any, so layers it is. Sorry, Christine. All right, Diane, not to worry. You'll be able to watch it later. Right, let's get this put together. Do you know, I've got no idea what time it is. No idea. Non-stick scissors. I'll get the alcohol gel on these later. So now we're going to start putting it all together. We've got a couple more jobs to do. And one of them you will either like or you won't. But I'm still going to do it anyway. So this is now the base of my card, so no glue on the layer. Just make sure that's straight. It looks it. There we go. We are getting somewhere. So now this piece, I'm not inking any of the edges, by the way. That's another tip. When you've got heavy backgrounds, separate them, look, and look how different it looks as soon as you separate them. So this is going on flat, shock horror. You could, for a different look, you could mist over the spotty background and let it run a bit with water. But I wanted it nice and neat. That's alright, it's only 8:10, crikey. Motoring through this. This is a good man's card. We all struggle with them. Not a single flower or butterfly on this card. Not one. But there are 20 cogs. Phil, I have the artist board. Will I do it with gesso first, or would that affect the oxides? It might actually be better, Heather. It won't affect the oxides at all. It might just subdue or soften the effect. Right, so let's get this one on. This can go on with glue. I'm just going to see if there's a top I like better. Yeah, I like this side better. So we can now look at, so messy. I mean, actually that's quite nice, but I only wanted the edges, remember. And the only reason I only wanted the edges is because we've got the topper to put on as well. So here we go. We are getting somewhere, slowly but surely. No glittery rig, no glitter. No glitter, no flowers, no butterflies. Shocking. It's just shocking. I love these dies so much. Wait till you see series 2. You're gonna love them. You're gonna love them. I've already got mine. And this is also foam tape. It does look like I've used a lot of foam tape, but it's not that high. I've made higher cards than this before. Phill, did you manage to source them foam strips? No, but I've actually put a few feelers out, Chrissy. Thank you very much. I'm on with it. Ooh, I think I've just got away with that. It's a vintage ring tonight. Patricia. So now let's get this layered up. I'm just going to quickly flick over to YouTube just to make sure everybody it's still working. So this is why we needed the separation with something heavy, something light, something heavy. Yeah, it's balance. And who says men's cards can't look awesome? Okay, so now we're going to come to the... remember I said to you at the beginning that I'm mixing the dyes up. So this really is a true mashup. Oh, I've just had an idea. Just had an idea. Let's see if it... I can't use it tonight because I've done this roughly. Oh, look. So if I'd have cut that neatly, we could have had little corners from the inside circle. I didn't cut it neatly, unfortunately. So foam tape is going on here. Have you got that foam tape in the shop? I don't think there's any left, Margaret. Karen's the person to ask. When is the next box kit? It is April. Now, I'm not sure why it's April, because we always used to have February. So when I get a minute to catch my breath, I am going to find out why. And also, thank you very much, everybody. You've spotted in the magazine already that we have won best stamping brand and best shop in the wherever it is, Midlands I think, or North or something. So thank you very much for all your votes. It's very much appreciated. I haven't said anything because we weren't actually told that we could tell people yet. So I haven't got any fancy banners or anything yet, which I'm most annoyed about. So, you know what's going on the back of here? The brick wall is going on the back of here. So we're going to have the lovely brick wall on the back of this circle. So I'm just gluing that on. And I'll try and get this sort of straight. It doesn't really matter so much with a circle. Yeah, so thank you, everybody. Did Phill say what was on offer tonight? I did. Let's see if I can find the... There you go. Yeah, so thank you for your votes, everybody. Actually winning the favourite stamping brand is really important to me because, you know, stamps are my thing. So that one actually means a lot. And obviously the girls at the shop are fabulous, as we know. So it's very much deserved for them too, because they are the ones that get your orders out quickly, etc. This is not dried yet, but I'm chopping it off anyway. That fab. I'm not going to use the little in-shot ones. Looks like a radiator grill. And then we're going to start from the card up. It's easier that way. Oops. I forgot the little banner was on. We knew that you're the best already, Phil. My daughter had a scrapbooking shop and I was always annoying her because I was buying your products. That's brilliant. Thank you, Jenny. Well, as soon as we get the banners and everything from Practical Publishing, I will make a big song and dance about it, but it really is appreciated, so thank you, because it's your votes that got me that win. So we are starting from the card up, and I am going to put this centrally in the opposite direction than what you think. So again, look with the balance, so separating the patterns with plain white. I should put this on foam tape rather than glue gel, so I'm going to do that. And then we're going to do something to the cogs. We're going to make the cogs that have been drying over there nice and quietly. We're going to make them glossy. I would normally do this with glue gel, as you know, but because the glue hasn't dried properly, if I did it with glue gel, it would sag, and nobody wants a saggy ring. Nobody wants a saggy ring. Oh, thank you, Jan. They are awesome. We're very blessed. Didn't see. Thanks, as I just cut it different colours. Oh, thanks, Chris. If you didn't see me do the background, remember the video is already on YouTube. You just need to look for the every Tuesday, Technique Tuesday. We've just highlighted it tonight with metallic paints. And I don't know whether you can see this because it's a small detail, but the stamping of the little dots on the edges is really marvellous. It's all about building up the texture and building up the layers. Prefer quiet cogs. Oh dear, right, nearly done. I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I will. So I've just finished a couple of new things. Today was the finished second one that are absolutely amazing. And I cannot wait to show you. I told you in the recap we did last year that 2025 is going to be really exciting. So much to show you, so much to bring to you. and it's exciting for me even after all this time. Right, so oops, a little bit of glue on this just in case. And this is the reason why I chopped the outer edge off this stamped image, so that it fits nice and neatly onto this die from the lead differently. So let's just see where I want the colour. I think we'll go that way. I'm going to put that straight in the middle. Oh, let me just make that straight. Make sure your brick wall is straight, otherwise it'll look dodgy. Oh, that is so good. So that little frilly edge, look, is now separating the stamp. Oh, that's so good. Love it, love it, love it. Right, we'll pop this to one side. I might just have You're Awesome and stamp another sentiment in the middle. I haven't decided yet. We're going to bring back in the gears, the cogs. So these have all been drying nice and neatly. And they look marvellous as they are. But I'm going to make them glossy. And I think I'll just do a couple of them. So let me do the 2 solid ones and that one. So let's just do the 3 biggest ones. So you know how to do this. You've seen me do this before. We're going to use clear embossing powder. It's the way to go. I just need to change this plug. Change the plug and plug in the heat gun. This'll make you laugh. Let me show you these. I bought these marvellous little contraptions, oops, about 2 weeks ago, because I've got so many things plugged in on either side of my desk. And they've just been sitting on the floor in my craft room. Shame. The shame. Right, let's get a sheet of paper. So we're going to use clear embossing powder over the top of these cogs. I'm only going to do the 3 big ones just to show you, because it does look really good. Now, if you've got lots of time, it's definitely a lovely technique to do. My mat's gone all over the place and nobody told me. Let's put that straight. There we go. You could have a glossy, saggy vintage ring. Oh, Joanne's put Phil's excitement means us living on bread and water, but it's worth it. Keeps us slim and happy, crafters. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you, Margaret. Well, hopefully this will give you an idea. What, you've got a couple of what, Chrissy? The socket things that I've bought. Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 on that side. So I've got 6 things plugged in on this side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that side. Oh, no, 6 with the lamp. It's all good fun. It's all good fun. So I am now looking for my perfect medium. So bear with me a second. If you hear something crashing in the crescendo, you know it's because I've dropped my ink pads. Here we go. So I'm going to do this with perfect medium and my clear embossing powder, the crystal clear. Let's just see if I've got a dirty one. Yeah. I'm not going to use the glittery one. I will use the one that doesn't have glitter in. So I'm just going to push this in. You can do this with the Versamark, but most of you know I like to use perfect medium for dirty jobs. Like so. And a little tip for you, if you want to have a go at this, a little tip is if you want it really smooth, do a couple of layers. I don't want it really smooth, so if it's not perfectly smooth, that's absolutely fine. So the only difference you will see is that these will have a glossy texture on them. Just make sure you choose clear and not white. I've made that mistake before. This is a new pot. Look how much powder is in here. So I can show you the difference in a moment. It just makes it look different on the card. So instead of just keeping all the gears and things the same, it just gives you a slightly different finish. Yeah, they do a bit. Electrical overload, absolutely. Right, so let's just get these melted. So I'm just going from above. It doesn't matter about texture on this one. It looks so good. And just do it in here. I don't want to melt my mat that's underneath. I think you'll like this, and I think you'll probably say I should have done them all. Oops, oh, sugar. Yeah, that'll be fine. I did say sugar. So let's just show you the difference. So this is, you can still see the metallic, there's metallic sheen underneath, look. But what we have got is this lovely glossy, yeah, everybody's been deafened. What you have got now with the embossing powder on is that gorgeous glossy sheen, but you still retain the metallic from the copper and the teal underneath. And this is the one without the clear embossing powder on. So in actual fact, they both look fabulous, but it just separates them a little bit on your project. So you've got a different look. I should have done that one, but it's too late now. Right, just one of them will fit in there. Let's try. Too big. Too small. Too small. Maybe. We shall see. Right, so let's finish putting this card together. So we've got You're Awesome, which you know is going in the middle. I've got my 3 little stars somewhere. I'm not going to put the broken bits back in the brick wall. I'm just trying to catch the stars. Catch the stars. I'm sure I had more than that. Yep, here we are. Buried underneath my scraps. So now let's put this together, and I'm going to the glue gel now. It does look gorgeous with the glue gel, the embossing powder on. It's just a different finish. Oh, there we go. We got there in the end. So I'm going to pop the sentiment on first. This glue gel seems to have... You know what I'll be doing with this in a minute, don't you? It'll be going straight in the bin. This is a problem. I don't see Christine anymore to get any free supplies. Right, that's going in the bin. So I've put a whole load of glue gel in there. I'm chucking that as soon as I've got time for that rubbish. I don't have time to mess with that. So you're awesome. Straight in the middle. And I've done it on the glue gel to make sure it sinks in between the gaps on the brick wall. And then we will build up with these cogs now. Is my craft room warm? It's just, I don't know, Chrissy, just normal, I think. I don't have the radiator on in here. Otherwise it would be too warm. Right. So the stars are going on last. We're going to build up some of these cogs now. Let's just try and remember where I wanted them. I know I did too many. I don't even know whether I want them on. I am going to put one in the middle because I think it looks nice. Yeah, it does. It looks fab. I'm talking to myself, sorry. Right, let's get these on. I'm starting with the solid one because then it gives me something. It gives me something to put everything else on. So start with the solid one. Like I say, now I'm quiet while I'm building up. Just put this one in the middle before I forget. I was going to put another little sentiment on, but I don't think it needs it actually. I think you're awesome says it all. So now we can start building up. So what I do, I don't know whether you've noticed this, but yeah, this is the faffing stage, my favourite part. So I've made sure the solid ones are lifted up, look, which now means I can go in underneath. So I can go underneath and on top. So I'm building up a little like mechanism, if you like. This is the good thing about dies like this. Can build up into whatever however high you want it. This is my favourite part, so sorry, this is where I go quieter. I am just doing this with wet glue as well. I don't know whether you've noticed. because once it's set, it's actually really quite sturdy. I think we'll have another one here. This is why I wanted the difference look between the cogs, so it makes them stand out a little bit more. And then we can either go there or oh, decisions. I'm going higher. And the little stars, I'm leaving the little stars white. But I am going to thread a little bit of twine in them. And the little stars now, look, will break up the colour from the cogs. That's another really useful tip. Yeah, I always arrange the cogs a bit like flowers. It makes it easier. So it's kind of same but different. So still using the same format that I'm used to, but just with cogs instead of flowers. So I am just putting a little bit of twine. I should have done this ahead of time, sorry. But I have been a bit busy today. As always. So just, I know I want one on there, so let me just put these on as I go, and then I know whether I need to do them all or not. The little stars, remember, are from the framed sentiments set. I think you're pushing your luck with that, Phil. I was trying to make that bit work. Oh, what have I missed? Oh, I've just caught the end of a conversation there, so I'm so sorry. I know what that's like. I know that feeling too well. Thanks, Helen. So we've actually ended up using about 4 different die sets, maybe 5, I can't quite remember. And we've used a couple of different stamp sets. And the whole thing just comes together really, really nicely. It's not a project for posting, I don't think. I'm just going to squeeze that down a little bit more so it's a different height to this section. I'm just going to have one more star, and then I will stop. And then I'll just catch my breath. I love little button dies. We don't use them enough, but they are all in the framed sentiments die sets. Now, I am on Hobby Maker on Wednesday with another couple of huge bargains, because the next new release isn't for a couple of weeks. So grab yourself a massive bargain on Wednesday, and I'm just going to give you all a heads up because you're the ones that are following me all the time. There isn't a lot of stock for Wednesday, so if you see anything that you want, I'm going to tell you to get it as soon as you can. because there are some big bargains on there. So I'm just going to do one more thing, so just bear with me, because I've got to find them. They will be in the tubs. That will do nicely, thank you very much. I'm going to have a couple of random pearls on, but I wanted them in caramel. So let's just have a couple. Who says you can't put pearls on a man's card? You can. But I wanted caramel because it matches nicely with the colour scheme. Did I have any glue up there? Yeah. The caramel also has a lovely gold copperish sheen to it. And then we are going to stop right there. Stop, Phil, stop. Enough. Enough. Right, let's just make sure I've got this the way I want it. Bear with me 1 second. So let me just tell you what I'm doing so you know if you have a go at this. So remember when I was putting this card together, the 2 solid cogs are what I put on first. But just, this is a little top tip. I'm trying to make this one a little bit lower than this side so that it gives you a little bit more different dimension look. And there we go. So let's have a little close up. I might put another gear on that later because I feel like it needs another one under there. So let's have a little close up at what we've done tonight. So who says men's cards need to be boring? That's absolutely awesome. Oh, thank you. So we've got the background technique done there with the inky grungy technique from Technique Tuesday. The stamp is the vintage paraphernalia sentiment medallion. The sentiment is from the motivational or whatever sentiment coins. We've got the brick texture die in the background. We've got various dies from the lead differently. The cogs I don't think you can get anymore. And then we've used the copper paint and we've used the Secret Lagoon paint. So the copper and Secret Lagoon are what you need to be able to recreate that colourway. And there you go. How fabulous is that? So men's cards don't need to be boring. You can see all the shimmer from the paint on there as well, which is absolutely awesome. So it just takes the background that I've taught you already and we've changed it. We've enhanced it because we can, because we're all marvellous. You'll be able to watch it back, hope. At least it's worked this time, which is quite good. And there you go. So masculine style card, rusty tones, because that's what it is. Enhanced with the clear embossing powder and the copper and the Secret Lagoon metallic paints. No glitter. The little stars just break up the what do you call this? What do you call this? The display of the arrangement. Yeah, that'll do. So the little white stars just break up the arrangement of the cogs and break up the colour as well. And there you go. So remember, have a go. If you do have a go, tag me so I can see what you've done. I love to see what everybody has made. We will do a little giveaway tonight because I haven't done it for ages. So we are going to do the textured Dainty Doodle stamp. Can't even say it. Doodle Dainty Dots texture stamp. So somebody from YouTube will win one of these and somebody from Facebook will. As ever, if your name is drawn and it's done by random, I don't stop on it, just wherever it stops. If your name is chosen you need to send me a private message on the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page with your name and address and a reminder that you've won the Dainty Dots background stamp, and we will get that sorted off to you. Montage, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, absolutely, Colleen, it could. Just change the colours, change the embellishments. It could work for everything. So just a little reminder before we get on to that. Karen has very kindly put 20% off the medallion stamps and the coin stamps. It's a time limited offer. It's only for 24 hours, I think, or 48 hours. So if you fancy any of them, this is the best time to do it. In fact, it's the only time to do it because this is a new collection of stamps. If I'd have known, you wouldn't be getting 20% off them. So take advantage before I make you take it off. Let's just do the socials for anybody who's new. So please remember to follow and like the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page. And also the Honeypot Crafts Facebook page. And also my Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram, TikTok, and obviously the YouTube channel is Crafting with Phill Marty, so make sure you've subscribed. You can probably find me on some street corners, but not till the weather picks up. Right, so the Facebook group, for anybody who hasn't yet joined our fabulous Facebook group, just search on Facebook for Crafting with Phill Martin and Sentimentally Yours. Ask to join the group, but please remember you do need to fill in all the questions. Otherwise the system will automatically decline your request to join. So over to the tube first. So good luck everybody on YouTube. I'm sure I've missed something because I can see giggling going on. So good luck everybody on YouTube. Scrolling. So my mouse has landed on Linda Hendren. So Linda Hendren, congratulations, you've won yourself one of the little Doodle Dainty Dots background stamps. So private message, Sentimentally Yours Facebook page, and we will get that whizzing off to you as soon as possible. I'll do a proper photo of this in the morning. So thank you everybody on YouTube. I will see you next Monday evening, as usual, at 7 p.m. I may be in the Facebook group. I may be in the Facebook group only for another demo on Thursday evening with another little special offer, so I will let you know. Street corner. Depends how cold it is, Rob. So thanks everybody on YouTube. I'll see you next week. And right over to Facebook. So good luck everybody on Facebook. So scrolling. It looks fab. The more I look at this, the more I like it. It's a good combination of dyes as well. So good luck everybody on YouTube. Scroll. And my mouse has landed on Anne Webb. So congratulations, Anne. You've won yourself one of the little background stamps as well. You know the drill by now. Private message, Sentimentally Yours Facebook page, name and address, and a reminder of what you've won. So thank you everybody. I will see you on Hobby Maker on Wednesday, and my shows are 2 and 6. Some amazing bargains. Again, we are getting towards the end of the bargain shows for TV, so do make sure you take advantage if you can, because once I've caught up, we will probably be going down to once a month. I think. I haven't decided yet. So thank you everybody on Facebook. Have a lovely rest of the evening, and I will see you on Thursday evening in our Facebook group for another secret demo. So thanks everybody. Bye.